Hello everyone, on this video I'm going to show you how you can calculate moving average forecasts in Excel. Remember we had learned how to do moving average calculations when we would like to make a prediction with the time index dataset. Especially if you are given historical observations across time, you can definitely use it for your forecasting operations to forecast your values in the future. So in this example, let's focus on the data and then let's talk about it a little bit. So we are given the number of patient visits into our healthcare facility. This is from your book. From each week. As you can see, we do have data for the 15 weeks. And we are asked to put together a forecast for week 16 by using several moving average methods. So the first one that we are going to study is going to have n is equal to 3, and the second one is going to have n is equal to 4, and the third one is going to have n is equal to 5, most current observation. So remember moving average formulation. All we need to do is to take the one step ahead moving average forecast calculations by just taking the average of n most current observations. So in this method, we are going to implement moving average method with n is equal to 3. And on the next one, we're going to have another forecasting method with n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5, n is equal to 6, so on and so forth. Well, actually, if you are trying to only put together a forecast for week 16, that is just one operation. So that will be averaging, according to this method, it should be the three most current observations. So in other words, it will be the number of visits in week 13, 14, and 15, averaging them would give us our forecast value for week 16. Well, let's change the method. Let's use moving average method with n is equal to 4, meaning that we will have to look at the averages of the four most current data points, right? And let's hit enter. So as you can see, it just got to 98. And let's do calculate it with n is equal to 5. In this case, we will be taking the five most current averages of the five most current observations. Okay, so these are three different forecasts that we just calculated by using moving average method with n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, n is equal to 5 for week 16. Okay, so what about the others? So usually, if you would like to see, which forecast is doing better, one good way of doing that is to look at, one step ahead forecasts, starting from, early in the data, the earliest data point that we can make a forecast for. It's a good idea to start from that point and then move towards the future to see, and then compare your different forecasting methods to see, like, which one is actually resembling the actual observation. So the chart next to this one is going to show us visually, which forecasting method hopefully is going to be better mimicking the real life. So these blue dots are actually the patient number of patients came to our facility in each week. And I already have pre-plotted for each forecasting method here. But let's just get calculations done for them. Um, for n is equal to 3, if you remember, we do not have any forecast values for these three observations. And with n is equal to 4, we don't have anything here for the first four. And with n is equal to 5, we don't have anything with this first 5. So we don't have to really make a forecast for these yellow cells. Um, as I said, there are a couple things that you can do here, but the quickest would be just dragging this above should give you the forecast for the related weeks. Just to do a sanity check, click on a single cell, let's say week 5's forecast, and click on the formula cell. Here, what you see here is that it's actually doing the right thing. it is basically taking the average of the three most current observations. So that's correct. So all these are the forecasts that we just made. A one step ahead forecast for the entire set of weeks. Let's do the same thing with this guy. Remember, this is taking the previous four observations and averaging it out to make a forecast. So let's just drag it above. And let's do the same thing with this guy. All right. So as you can see, with n is equal to 3, we are able to make a forecast for week 4 and week 5. But with n is equal to 4, we can only make a forecast for week 5. And with n is equal to 5, we can only start making forecasts for week 6. Okay, so let's look at the chart to see, again, which color is actually making nicer forecasts according to this chart. What we see here is that, just to be fair, all three methods started making forecasts right after week 6. As you can see, the orange color is actually much closer to the blue color until week 10. And right after week 10, the yellow color took the lead, and then again orange color. So just basically looking at this chart, I think the orange color, or in other words, moving average method with n is equal to 4, is doing a good job catching up with the changes in my actual observations. In week 5, I'm going to teach you how to do the error calculations when it comes to comparing different forecasting methods. And those are going to be much reliable way of comparing different forecasting methods.